Hello everyone and welcome back this evening and welcome from my house to your house. I hope you're all doing well and that you enjoyed the last session. This week is actually one of my favourite weeks because it's with fruit and vegetables. So with fruit and vegetables we all know that we should be eating 5 a day. If we can eat more than that, great stuff. Also when we're eating through the day, and this is why the curry that I've chosen to do this evening is so good for this, you've got to try and get as much colour into your diet as possible. So if you take a wee look at the ingredients on the table for the curry, you'll see lots of vibrant colours there. So I know I've got all my healthy bit ticked and right. The curry I'm making this evening is a lovely recipe actually. It's one that you can make at your own. If you want to do a vegetarian version of it, just leave out the chicken. With fruit and vegetables, they're so important for our health, particularly for our immune system, to keep it lovely and strong, to be able to fight off different things that come our way, or particularly in the present time with COVID, with the common cold, flus. So with fruit and vegetables, if we can try and take something at each part of the day with our breakfast, maybe in our snacks with our fruit, our lunches and our dinners. And quite often a question that's maybe asked is portions. What is your portions? Well, last week we talked about portion sizes, but I think this plate here demonstrates very well the amount of suggested vegetables that should be on our plate on the dinner table every evening. The portion size would be the size of your fist. Maybe then that could roughly be possibly 3 florets of cauliflower, broccoli, a good fist of carrots, whatever your chosen vegetables are. Not only is your fruit and vegetables very good for your immune system, it's also very good for your heart health and very good for your digestive health. So all round very good. So without further ado, I'm going to start cooking, and just come on over to the pot and you'll see what's going on. Okay, so we're back. Just to start off with, you could use some olive oil in your pan if you so wish. I actually like to try water for this, so put a wee bit of water into your wok. I have the heat on up nice and high at the moment, and then I am going to add my mushrooms and let them saute away here now. Love the smell of onions cooking. I don't know about the rest of you, but I love onions. So it's very important when we're eating as well, that maybe sometimes when we're eating, maybe we go way off to the living room and sit down and watch a film or sit and watch a programme. And do you ever notice it when you're sitting eating in front of you're literally hand to mouth eating? More than probably that you would normally would if you were more mindful of it. So it's kind of advisable if you are eating to try and sit down at a kitchen table and maybe have a conversation with family if you've someone to chat to, but even just to concentrate on what you're eating. Savour it, eat it slowly, think about what you're eating, think of the tastes, enjoy the tastes. Don't rush it down because it's not good for digestion. Take it slowly. It takes approximately about 20 minutes for the brain to register that the stomach is full. So that's why another good reason why it is just to take your time, and very good to do that. So these are cooking away now and beginning to soften. So what I am actually going to do now while that is going is I like to add ginger to foods because it's very good for the digestion. So you'll see here a bit of ginger. Now ginger's very good You can get it fresh like this, and you only really use the end of maybe the end of a finger size really. So this part here can actually be taken and frozen so that nothing goes to waste. And just take off the skin like so. And then what you do is the aromas of this is absolutely gorgeous. so just grate it. And smell. There's a piece of it done. We'll have to get that out nice and sharpish. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So, a little waste container there. So, that's a wee bit of your ginger rum. Another thing it doesn't say on the recipes that I would have given out to you is to use garlic. It doesn't mention garlic, sorry, but this actually is lovely. A small taste of it. To that. And so there we go. The onions are becoming lovely and soft now, and that's what we're looking for. So to get our colourings and our curry flavours now, this recipe that I'm cooking for presently is for 4 people. So the recommended amount is one or 2 level tablespoons of curry powder. Now some people just don't really like a lot of, don't like the curries too hot, and that's okay. Maybe the 1 will do. Also, this particular curry powder is a hot curry powder, so you can get milder curry powders, which is grand. So give that a good stir through as well. And you'll see your onions starting to brown up here. And just to give that little extra kick, guess what we're going to add now? Yeah, you've got it, your hot chili powder. And we use, the recommended for this is a wee teaspoon. So there we go, small teaspoon of that. And yum. So now if you find that, because if you did, like me, decided to use water, you may find that the pan's drying up slightly. Just add another wee drop of water. And there we go. So, and I must say it smells lovely already. There's no meat in it or vegetables yet. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the chicken. Earlier on, you had seen I prepared a lot of the vegetables. So this is 3 chicken breast fillets, all chopped up nice and small. And we're going to let them cook away until they brown up and are cooked through. I try to get when I'm cutting up meat like this, I try to get it all as much the same size as possible so as to get even cooking, so that one that doesn't cook quicker than another. So just stir it all around to get all those flavours through. The chicken will start to brown here too, but that's what we want. It's the colours coming off the curry powder. So I'm going to cook away at that for approximately about 10 minutes, and we'll come back and add the vegetables. And here we are back again, and there's, after about 7-8 minutes, the chicken cooked lovely. I always like to double check my chicken that it's cooked thoroughly, so I usually take a wee fork and knife and break it up and check that it's nicely cooked and no pink. So it'll approximately take about 10 minutes now to finish the meal. So what I'm going to do is I have the rice here in the pot, The rice I have chosen to do takes 10 minutes, so I usually, to gauge the right amount of rice, I usually gauge about a half a cup per person. So then I am adding about 1.5 times then in the water and bring it to the boil. And while that's boiling, we let that boil away there. We'll add our vegetables. So here we have our first lovely bright red colour with our tomatoes. Tomatoes are so good for us. So we'll stir them through, so that will give it lovely moisture to the curry. And then, as I mentioned earlier, this is your curry, so you add what you want. Personally, I love lots of vegetables. It's a great way to go into your fridge if you have vegetables maybe from the dinner the day before. Pop them in or prepare them like this. Now, you may say to yourself, would that have been an expensive meal? The thing that cost the most was the chicken. Vegetables, you know, a lot of people think vegetables are expensive, but they're not really that expensive if you're getting the ones when they're in season. So there's our carrots all the way through. And one of our big immune boosters is our spinach. So that's our spinach through. Now, I put out sweet corn here. Personally, I'm not a sweet corn lover, but some people like it, so you can add that if you like. Some red peppers and mushrooms. So, how does that look for a dish, do you think? Doesn't that look lovely, all those colours? But we get them all stirred up and see how it's looking. I can tell you it smells good. I really do hope you enjoy the curry as much as I do. And the good thing about the curry is that when you're cooking it, let's say you have some left over, just pop it in the fridge and put a cover over it, and you could have it for lunch the next day. So it's very good that way. So even in an evening, even for energy saving reasons, if you wanted to cook extra and put it over then for the next day. So there we go. So now, I want to create the lovely creamy sauce. So to do that, like the recipe said, I mixed 2 chicken stock cubes. If it's the vegetarian curry that you're doing, then you can use the vegetable stock cubes. And then just add enough. This is a bit, just try it until you get to know what consistency that you like best. So maybe I'll add just a wee bit more than that. So we'll let that heat up there, and there's our rice has come to the boil. And as I say, rice takes, different varieties of rice take different times. So this one I just find nicely goes with the curry. So just turn that down. And this curry is also on a lower heat now too. So I am going to add, they recommend roughly about a tablespoon of the mango chutney. So I'll just add roughly about 2 teaspoons. If you like your curries particularly sweet, you can add a little bit more than that. And the mangoes come in various flavours as well, with other additives to them, and some of them actually can be really lovely. So there we go. So looking good. So I'm just going to add a wee bit more than that, just to show how then that corn flour is used. So if you find that your curry is too thick, then add more of the stock. If you find that it's too runny for you or too fluidy, then we make up a wee bit of corn flour now just to thicken it up. And I deliberately put the extra fluid in it just so that you will see how the corn flour is done. So I've taken a tablespoon of corn flour, and I'm now going to add a wee bit of water to that. That's me back. I've added a wee bit of water to the corn flour, and it's actually gone into a wee bit of a paste now. So that's what I want to thicken up my sauce a wee bit. So again, just add it gradually, just till you get the consistency that you like. So just make sure you give it a good stir around so that it, there we go, you can already feel it starting to thicken a wee bit. And meanwhile, just keep an eye on the rice. Give it an occasional stir so that it doesn't stick to the pot. So it's, again, it's coming on nicely there. So I still think I would like that just a wee bit of a thicker sauce. So again, I'm going to add a wee bit more of the corn flour and stir it round again. Right. So my last wee bit of seasoning that I'm going to add is, just turn that well down, is some pepper. You really notice I haven't used salt at all. I'm not, I believe that we have plenty enough salt in the foods that we eat without adding extra. Salt actually is in a lot of foods, and really and truly we should only need 6 grams of salt recommended. So I prefer to just use other herbs and spices rather than salt, because salt actually, also a lot of salt can go on in years to cause blood pressure. So yeah, just personal preference. So there we go, isn't that a lovely consistency there? It's nice and thick and it's bubbling away there. So that's the rice more or less ready, yeah. So that took 10 minutes, and there's your curry, and it's time to serve it up. And there we go, there's your chicken curry. I hope that you enjoyed watching and that you found that maybe useful. I look forward to hearing any feedback. Many of you will already know how to contact me, and if you don't, it will pop up on the screen afterwards. So thanks again, and remember, if you have anything where you think that would be useful for me, please tell me. I look forward to it, and thanks again.